Woosa, wake up South Africa. You've been sleeping far too long. Wake up South Africa.
Thank you, Shachi Prabhu. Thank you for the opportunity. I was very touched by your very honest, sincere, devotional interview on the TV. Commendable. Even your interview on the Books Are the Basis series for the ISKCON Ministry of Education was very inspiring. So therefore, I feel very honored and privileged to be of some service to you and to your community. So before I begin, can you tell me something more about the community that you're leading, and who are the participants and what's their background, so that I will know. I will try to serve to the best, because I will be able to know the audience then.
It is a budding community made up of students who attend different universities, some who are young professionals, just started in the workplace. And of course, ISKCON South Africa is an old yatra from the 70s. So some devotees have come. Otherwise, we are here trying to just spread Krishna consciousness, especially to the local people of South Africa who haven't heard about it.
So if I use words like Krishna and Vrindavan, will that be understandable?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, wonderful. So with your permission, I would like to sing a song and then explain that in the next 30 minutes.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So this is the song that we will try to sing. It is called as Nanda Nandanastakam. The word Nanda means the father of Krishna, Nanda Maharaj. And the word Nandana means he who gives pleasure, or the son. So it basically means this is the father of Krishna, Nanda Maharaj. And Nandana means that son who gives pleasure. So Nanda Nandana is a name for Krishna, who gives pleasure as the son of Nanda Maharaj. And the word Ashtakam means 8 stanzas or 8 verses. So if you see, this song has numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But what is that 9th? This is the fruit, the result. It's called as, in Sanskrit, it is called as Phalashruti, which means what would you gain by chanting or singing this song, right? So the fruit, the result, the effect, the benefit is given in the 9th stanza. But however, in the first 8, beautiful, wonderful descriptions are given of that beautiful, attractive son of Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj is Krishna's father. And therefore, naturally, his beautiful, attractive, all attractive son is Krishna. So you can see throughout the song, one line is being repeated. Namami Nanda Nandanam. And by the way, this song is in Sanskrit. So the pronunciation may vary from the typical reading of English. So Namami Nanda Nandanam. Next line also says Namami Nanda Nandanam. The third line also says Namami Nanda Nandanam. The fourth line also says Namami Nanda Nandanam. In fact, all of those lines say have one thing in common, and that is Namami Nanda Nandanam. Just a diacritic reading help. Whenever you see the word see, the pronunciation is cha. So generally, if you read it without, we may probably read it as su ka. It's probably taken as C is taken as ka, like C-A-R is car in English. But this is not ka, the pronunciation is cha, C-H-A, right? And at the same time, whenever you see a line on top of an alphabet, the mouth opens. So the pronunciation for this would be S, U will su, C stands for C-H, su, cha, ru, right? And then V-A-K-T-R-A is vaktra. And M-A-N-D-A-L-A-M is mandalam. So in this way, we read the whole thing. What is this one line common throughout? What does that mean? The word na-ma-mi means I bow down. I bow down. I take shelter. I surrender. That's the meaning. To whom? Nanda Nandanam. Nanda means the father of Krishna, that is Nanda Maharaj, and Nandanam is the son, Anandam, he who gives joy as the son. So he who is the joyous, attractive, beautiful, wonderful son of the father, Nanda Maharaj, Namami, I bow down to him. And it's quite a alliteration used here where it starts with an N, Namami, Nanda, Nandanam, right? It's quite an alliteration can be seen. Many more alliterations can be seen, but in the interest of time, let's discuss. We will sing stanza after stanza, and then we will discuss this song. Sucharuvakramandalam Sukarnaratnakundalam Sucharchitangachandanam Namami Nandanandanam Sucharuvakramandalam Sukarnaratnakundalam Sucharchitangachandanam Namami Nandanandanam Sudirganetra pankajam Shikhi Shikhandamurdhajam Ananga koti mohanam Namami Nandanandanam. With all our heart we sing. Sudirganetra pankajam Shikhi Shikhandamurdhajam Ananga koti mohanam Namami Nandanandanam Suna Sikagramouktikam Swachandadantapanktikam Navambudangachekanam Namami Nandanandanam. And again, Sunasikagramouktikam Swachandadantapanktikam Navambudangachekanam Namami Nandanandanam. Karena venuranjitam Gati karindra ganjitam Dukulapita shobhanam Namami Nandanandanam. Karena venuranjitam Gati karindra ganjitam Dukulapita shobhanam Namami Nandanandanam. Nandanam Tribhanga Sundaram Nakhadyuti Sudhakaram Amulya Ratnabhushanam Namami Nandanandanam Tribhanga Deha Sundaram Nakhadyuti Sudhakaram Amulya Ratnabhushanam Namami Nandanandanam Sughanda Anga Saurabham Uro Virajikosthubham Spurat Shrivatsalanchanam Namami Nandanandanam Sugandha Anga Saurabham Uro Virajikosthubham Spurat Shrivatsalanchanam Namami Nandanandanam Vrindavanasунagaram Vilasano Gavasasam Surendra Garva Mochanam Namami Nandanandanam Vrindavana Sunagaram Vilasano Gavasasam Surendra Garva Mochanam Namami Nandanandanam Vrajangana Sunayakam Sada Sukha Pradayakam Jagan Mana Pralobhanam Namami Nandanandanam Vrajangana Sunayakam Sada Sukha Pradayakam Jaganmana Pralobhanam Namami Nandanam Sri Nanda Nandanastakam Pathet Yah Shraddhayanvitah Taret Bhavabdhidostaram Labhe Tadangre Yogmakam Sri Nanda Nandanastakam Pathet Yashradhayanvita Taret Bhavabdhim Dostharam Labhe Tadangre Yogmakam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan Ki Jai. So today, the topic of our discussion is Krishna, the all-attractive Lord of Vrindavan. Krishna has many wonderful features. As we know, Krishna is very beautiful, very, very beautiful. He also plays the flute in the forests of Vrindavan. Unparalleled musical expertise, very good singer, very good dancer. In fact, the best singer, the best dancer. All his associates, all his lovers, devotees, everyone around him are so kind-hearted. All his sweet pastimes, they melt the heart and they make the heart like butter so that this butter thief can come and steal our hearts someday. Krishna is filled with unlimited strength. Krishna is filled with unlimited wealth. Krishna is filled with unlimited intelligence. Krishna is filled with unlimited fame. But Srila Rupa Goswami, one of our very prominent teachers from the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, which is the philosophy from the East, he has very wonderfully made this point that Krishna, who has so many wonderful facets in his personality, he's complete, he's perfect, he's attractive, he's wonderful, he's magnanimous, he's merciful. But before we go there, the most prominent quality of Krishna, by which he can attract every heart, not just heart, he can attract the moving and non-moving. He can attract the living and non-living. He can attract the animate and the inanimate. And that quality is his beauty. Everything about Krishna. In this world we see, sometimes the person may have very beautiful eyes, but his hearing may not be perfect. Or if his hearing is perfect, maybe his sense of smell is not good. If that is also good, maybe he has a learning disability. We are all filled with some of the other imperfections, right? Some more than the others. But Krishna is complete. Every aspect about Krishna is complete. His nose is the best, most beautiful nose. His eyes, his eyelids, his eyeballs, his eyelashes, the most perfect, most beautiful, most attractive. His ears and his earrings, his limbs, his fingernails, his toenails, his waist, his chest, the strength of his arm, the movement of his neck. Everything is so beautiful. His cheeks are so chubby. His chin is so complete. His words are so sweet. His glancing is so soothing. His body is so soft. It is dark complexioned and it is effulgent. How beautiful. So this song that we sang now in Sanskrit, it describes the different features of Krishna's bodily beauty. So one after another, in the next 25 to 30 minutes that we have, we will very quickly try to touch on the different aspects of this song. So I would advise to those who are younger than me, I would advise, please keep a notebook and pen with you. Not because I am speaking, but because this song is so beautiful. It's like a rain of nectar. And it's always nice if we can have a small cup. We can catch all that rain. Because the song is a rain cloud. I may be like a crow getting wet in that rain. But actually this song is the rain shower. So we all can come together in the Zoom room and on Facebook and YouTube. We can come and get drenched under the rain cloud of this description. Srila Rupa Goswami has said, Asama urdhva rupa shri vismapita characharam. It's a saying in Sanskrit which means that Krishna's form is unparalleled. Even Krishna gets attracted to his own reflection. What to speak of others? We spend so much time in front of the mirror, but we may not be so attractive, right? Although we may think we are very attractive. And we may think when we walk into an assembly, everyone's looking at me and appreciating me. But actually, that everyone just minds their own business in this world. But Krishna is so beautiful that he attracts the moving, the non-moving, the living, the non-living, the humans, the animals, the birds, the insects, the upper planetary demigods, the lower planetary demons. He even attracts his own incarnations. Like Vishnu gets attracted to the form of Krishna. And what to speak of Vishnu, even his consort Lakshmi gives up the abode of Vaikuntha and comes to Vrindavan just to enter the beautiful pastimes of Krishna. What to speak of others? Krishna himself, when he sees his own reflection, either in water or he sees his own reflection on a very beautiful jewel pillar, Krishna goes to embrace that pillar thinking that he has found the most attractive person without realizing that it's actually him. Krishna is beautiful, but he's also very humble. He doesn't realize it's him. And when he realizes, he becomes very shy and embarrassed because then he feels that, oh, it's actually me. But then the first go, When he sees the reflection, he goes to embrace. In fact, it is described when Krishna was a little baby, he went to steal butter. Krishna loves butter. When he goes to steal butter, and at that time, he saw his own reflection on a jeweled pillar. And he saw, who is this person? So attractive, so beautiful, so wonderful. He forgot the butter and he was looking at the reflection. And then he spoke to the reflection. And naturally, the reflection was also speaking back because it was Krishna. So then he said, my name is Krishna. And the reflection said, my name is Krishna. So Krishna said, even your name is Krishna. You're so beautiful. The reflection said, you're so beautiful. Krishna said, I have never seen you before. The reflection said, I've never seen you before. Krishna said, I wish I could befriend you. The reflection said, I wish I could befriend you. Krishna said, then what's stopping us? The reflection said, what's stopping us? Then Krishna said, you know, my mother's name is Mother Yashoda. And the reflection said, my mother's name is Mother Yashoda. And in no time, Mother Yashoda came behind Krishna, stood behind Krishna. So even there was a reflection of Mother Yashoda, the mother of Krishna. And then Krishna looked at the reflection and he said, what? Your mother looks like my mother. Because Krishna had not seen himself, but he had seen his mother. So Krishna looked at the pillar and he said, your mother looks like my mother and she has the same name. And Mother Yashoda touched Krishna from behind and she said, that is not another person, that's you. That's your reflection. And then Krishna became very embarrassed. In fact, Krishna was at an age when he didn't even understand what the word reflection meant. So the point is, when Krishna looks at himself, even he gets attracted. So the aim of human life is to get on the path of divine love and love God with all our heart. This is the purpose of the human body. The human body is not meant to love others independent of God. The purpose is to love God, and then naturally, because everyone is connected to the same God, we love everyone in that connection. Then it's complete. Yeah, it's complete. Everyone belongs to Krishna. Those from India, those from America, those from Australia, those from Africa, everyone, we all belong to Krishna. And therefore, it's natural for our heart to get attracted to this description. So let us go. One after another, you can keep the notebooks ready. We will start writing. The first phrase here, Sucharu Vaktra Mandalam. The word Sucharu Vaktra Mandalam means that Krishna has the most complete, beautiful face, most attractive face. In fact, it is described in some poetic descriptions that Krishna's face is like a moon. It's like a moon. In fact, on his body, there are many other moons. We will come to that in a bit in the song. But his face is like a full moon. It's not a half moon or a crescent moon. It's a full moon, spotless moon. Why? Because anyone who looks at the moon, let's say if we have been outside under the hot sun on a summer afternoon, and then we get a chance to stand under cold water, it's very rejuvenating. It's very comforting. It's very relaxing. So similarly, we have been struggling different sufferings in this world, whether it is the suffering of the mind with distress, anxiety, depression, relationship problems, something with the body, something with the society, something with finances, money. It's like the heat of distress that we are going through. But when we look at the full moon face of Krishna, we feel relaxed. Krishna's face is very relaxing, very soothing, very refreshing. And the purpose of our eyes is to have darshan of that face. Very beautiful face. In some places, Krishna's face is also compared to a lotus. Why? Because Srimati Radharani, Krishna's beloved devotee, she is compared to the moon sometimes. And what happens? There are two types of lotus flowers. There's a pink lotus, which opens during the day and closes at night. And then there is a blue lotus, a dark blue lotus, which is closed during the day, but opens at night. Right? So Krishna's face is actually compared to a dark blue lotus, which is closed during the day, which means he's interacting with everyone, but not to his 100% capacity, 100% potential. But at night, when he sees the beautiful moon-like face of Radha, Srimati Radhika, Srimati Radharani, then the blue lotus flower of Krishna's face completely blossoms and opens up. So in some poetic comparisons, his face is compared to the full moon. And if you say Radha Rani's face is like the full moon, then Krishna's face is a blue lotus, which is completely opening, getting attracted to the full moon face of Sri Radha's beautiful personality. Is that clear? So that is with respect to Krishna's face. Let's keep moving. The next is Sukarana Ratna Kundalam. This means that Krishna's ears are very beautifully shaped, and the earrings on the earlobe, they're always swinging. They're swinging back and forth. So some beautiful things have been mentioned by our acharyas. Lasat kundalam gokule bhrajamanam. Our acharyas describe, our great teachers of the past, they describe that the earrings on Krishna's ear, they are moving back and forth in joy. Why? Almost telling the whole world, look at our fortune. Everyone is supposed to hear about Krishna. But Krishna hears the glory of the devotees. And on Krishna's ear, we are swinging. So our position, we are situated, the earrings are swinging to tell the whole world their glorious position. That we are sitting on the throne of Krishna's ears. Those ears of Krishna which are hearing about the devotees, while the devotees are busy using their ear to hear about Krishna. Does this make sense? Also, it is described that the earring is most fortunate of all of Krishna's ornaments. Why? Because it can always go back and forth and kiss Krishna's baby cheeks. Krishna as a baby has fully blossomed and round, plump, chubby cheeks. So the bracelets and the anklets and the waist belt and the necklace, they don't have this opportunity of jumping and kissing baby Krishna's cheeks. But the earrings are always moving back and forth as if to kiss baby Krishna's chubby cheeks. So they are most fortunate. So first we describe the face, then the earrings. Let's move on. The third description given is Sucharchitanga Chandanam. This means Krishna's body is completely covered with sandalwood pulp. Krishna's body is decorated with sandalwood pulp. And that too, in the Gopal Sahasranam, it is described. Kasturi tilakam lalata pathale vakshasthale kaustubham nasagre varamauktikam karatale venu karai kankanam sarvangi hari chandanam sulalitam kanthe cha muktavali gopastri pariveshtito vijayate gopala chudamani. It means that Krishna's body is completely covered with sandalwood pulp. What kind of sandalwood pulp? They take fresh tulsi leaves and green tulsi leaves and crush it completely to make a green paste, mix it with sandalwood paste, very fragrant sandalwood paste, very attractive sandalwood paste, and apply it on Krishna's body. So it increases Krishna's beauty, and Krishna's body is very fragrant. However, this is what Mother Yashoda and the residents of Vrindavan think, that the sandalwood pulp, when you apply it on Krishna, then because of that Krishna becomes beautiful, or because of that Krishna is fragrant. But that's not true. The sandalwood pulp becomes fragrant by the touch of Krishna's body. The sandalwood pulp becomes attractive by coming in contact with Krishna's body. So therefore we see even in our temples, during the summertime, when it's very hot, then they cover the deities, the form of Krishna, with sandalwood, because it cools the body. It has the power to cool the temperature. So when it's very hot outside, you can apply chandan or sandalwood to your deities. So that's the first stanza, Namami Nanda Nandanam. So I bow down to that Krishna who has a very beautiful face, very beautiful ear with earrings, and his body is completely covered with attractive sandalwood. So that's the first stanza. Let's move on. Now Krishna's eyes are being described. Sudirga Netra Pankajam, which means Krishna's eyes are sudirga, they are very long and wide. Some adjectives used for Krishna's eyes in the Shastra, there's a book called as Govinda Leela Madhuri. there's a verse which describes, it gives list of adjectives describing Krishna's eye. It says, Atyayate suvipule musrine sushorne. It says Krishna's eyes are wide. They are not small eyes. Krishna's eyes go from one end to the ear. It's almost kissing the ear. That's how big Krishna's eyes are. And not just wide, not just long, they're also broad. It's not thin and long, it's broad and long. And also it is described, it has a reddish tinge of affection. His eyes are always moist. And at the same time, it is described that Krishna's eyeballs are always restless, moving around to see where his devotees are. Also it is described, his eyelids are thick and the eyelashes are glossy. And to add more sweetness, his eyes are always filled with innocence, yet at the same time with mischief. These are all the descriptions of the lotus petal-like Krishna's eyes. Krishna's eyes are related or compared to pankajam, which means lotus petals. Why? Because Radharani is also compared to the sun, because she is Bhanu Nandini. Bhanu means Vrishabhanu, the father of Radharani, and Nandini means daughter. But in Sanskrit, the word Bhanu also means the sun. So Radharani is compared to, her effulgence is golden. She looks like the rays of the sun. And what happens to when the sun is bright? What happens to the lotus? The lotus opens. So Krishna's eyes are like lotus petals. And Radharani's complexion and her effulgence is like that of the sun. So naturally, looking at the sun like Radharani, the lotus petal of Krishna's eyes will go wide. Very beautiful descriptions. How will our heart not get attracted to this beautiful, wonderful, attractive Lord of Vrindavan? When we can get attracted to small things like the iPhone, or, whatever, a water cup. We get attracted to small, petty things in this world. And they're all static. But Krishna's eyes are dynamic, moving. How can we not get attracted to those eyes? Some great teachers, they have described that Krishna's body is beautiful, but his face is more beautiful. His smile is even more beautiful. But then his eyes are complete killers. They are murderers. Krishna's eyes shoot arrows which go through the heart of anyone who listens, and the person cannot survive anymore. Krishna's eyes are criminals. They can kill anyone out of affection. The person is so captivated by looking at Krishna's eyes that he can't look anywhere else. Let's move on. What's the next description? Shikhi Shikhanda Murdajam, which means Krishna's head is filled with beautiful peacock feathers. Very attractive peacock feathers. Krishna has the feathers of a peacock bird. Why? Because Krishna is a very good dancer. And we know peacocks are very good dancers. They open up their feathers and they dance. So it's described once Krishna was dancing as a peacock. Krishna became a peacock and he was dancing. And all the peacocks, they were stunned. Look at this peacock. He looks like us, but he dances so good. He must be God. But we have nothing to offer him except the feathers on our body. So out of gratitude, the peacock started picking one feather at a time. And all the peacocks came and offered it at Krishna's feet, as if the servants are offering their heart to the king. And Krishna said, this is offered with so much love. Each one of you remember for all times to come, as long as I am in Vrindavan, every single day, every single place, at all times and circumstances, your peacock feather offerings will always be on the top of my head. So Krishna has peacock feather to show how any offering of any devotee, even if it's as small as a feather, if it's with affection and love, Krishna will accept. And this beauty, to move on, Ananga Koti Mohanam, which means, the word Ananga means Cupid, or the god of love. Krishna is so attractive that millions and millions of gods of love, Cupids, they surrender their heart to Krishna. You see, in this world, it is described that Cupid has 5 arrows. What are the 5 arrows by which a male gets attracted to a female or a female gets attracted to a male in this world. The 5 arrows are through glance. You see someone, you see that they're very attractive, so you get attracted. Or through the ear, you can get attracted by their voice or the sound of their ankle bell, etc. So in this way, through the eyes, through the ears, through the nose, etc., by the sense of touch, etc., these are the 5 arrows by which Cupid works in this world. Not 5, even one of these arrows can make people fall in love in this world. Not rise in love, but fall in love in this world. But millions and millions of such arrows are there in the quiver of one Cupid. And millions of such Cupids come to try to attack Krishna with all their power so that they can shoot all their arrows. And if Krishna can fall in love, they want to try like that. But then when you have to shoot an arrow, you have to see your target very closely. So all these Cupids sitting on different branches of different trees are looking at their target to shoot an arrow. And as they look at their target, what happens? Before they try to shoot the arrow at Krishna, Krishna's arrows in the form of his glancing has shot their heart, and they start falling from different branches of the trees. Which means that Cupid who can keep all of us completely caught up in the so-called love of this world, millions of such Cupids, they rise in love. Not fall in love, but rise in love at the feet of Krishna. They give their heart to Krishna. So that's the meaning of the second stanza. Namami Nanda Nandanam. I bow down to that beautiful son of Nanda Maharaj, who has long, elongated lotus petal-like eyes. His head is filled with the crown of peacock feathers, and he who is so beautiful that millions of Cupids, they rise in love. They die for him. They surrender to him. Let's move on. Third stanza. Sunasikagra mauktikam, which means his nose is so good. It is in the shape of a sesame flower. In Shastra, it says sesame flower. I never understood it. But when I saw a sesame flower, then I understood. It droops down very beautifully when you see it from the side. Not from ahead, but when you see it from the side, it has a very sharp, wonderful formation. And that's what the scriptures say. When you look at Krishna's nose from the side, it's so sharp and well formed. And that is Sunasika. And Agra means on the tip. And Mauktika means a pearl. So Krishna has a very beautiful pearl nose ring on the tip of his nose. It's very, very attractive. And the next description is Swachanda Danta Panktikam, which means Krishna has rows of attractive white teeth. Very effulgent white teeth. We have broken teeth with root canal and, crown and tooth extraction and cleanup. And then it's, even after all of that, there's cavities. And then the teeth is yellow. And then we lose all of them as we get old. But Krishna, it's described as a child, when Krishna smiled, Mother Yashoda saw little sweet, wonderful rows of white jasmine flower bud-like teeth. Krishna's teeth were compared to the white rows of jasmine flower. The jasmine flower, when it's in the budding state, it's small, very fragrant and white. And when you put all those buds together, that's how Mother Yashoda saw Krishna's mouth. She looked inside and she said, "What is this? Is it a row of rice grains?" Krishna's teeth, is it a row of rice grains? Or is it a row of milk drops? Is it a row of milk drops? Or is it a row of pearls? Or is it a row of very fragrant, sweet, white buds of jasmine flowers? What is this? And at that time, Krishna was thinking, my mother has become a philosopher. I don't want such a philosopher mother. So Krishna closed his mouth and smiled. And when he smiled, Mother Yashoda forgot everything. How attractive, how beautiful. So here it describes Krishna's nose like a sesame flower with a pearl on the tip. And then it says Krishna's teeth are very attractive. The next thing that's described is Krishna's complexion. Krishna is dark in complexion. Krishna is dark in complexion. And he's very beautifully dark in complexion. So, in this world, people have so many misconceptions, right? They think, oh, someone who's fair is beautiful. Someone who's dark is not beautiful. People think like that. And on the basis of race and complexion, there is racism and fight. But we have to understand, God is on our side. Krishna is bluish black in complexion. There's no description of Krishna being fair in complexion. Krishna is dark in complexion. So why fear when God is here? It's described, Nava Ambuda Anga Chikkanam, which means Krishna is in a complexion of a rain cloud. He's dark as a rain cloud. Sometimes he's described as a blue lotus flower, dark blue lotus flower. Sometimes he's described as a rain cloud, which is about to thunder and rain. And sometimes he's described as a tree, a dark tree, tamal tree, a dark wood tree, who's standing with his arms and broad chest, ready to embrace all his devotees in the form of branches, coming in the form of his arms. And his form at the same time is so soft. Krishna's form is so soft. One time Krishna was playing the flute. He was singing and playing his flute, singing for some time, and also trying to play the same notes on his flute. And he was doing this completely absorbed with his eyes closed, standing under a tree. And one leaf from one of the branches of the tree came down floating in the breeze, and it stuck on Krishna's forearm. And Krishna's playing the flute, and he didn't realize. And at the end of the performance, he looked, and he took that leaf out. And when he took the leaf out, the impression of the leaf was found on his forearm. That is how soft Krishna's body is. Imagine if Krishna's hand is so soft that a leaf can fall and the impression of the leaf can be imprinted on his skin. Imagine if that's how soft Krishna's hand is. How soft is Krishna's face? And if that's how soft Krishna's face is, how soft is Krishna's heart? How merciful, how compassionate, how magnanimous. We in this world, we are judgmental. We in this world, we are critical. We in this world, we bring in polarities. But God is very soft and kind-hearted. He melts like butter because you are what you eat, right? There's a saying, you are what you eat. What does Krishna eat? Right from childhood, he's been eating butter. So what goes in is what is in. So his heart is full of butter. It melts in compassion. So therefore, in the third stanza, I offer my obeisances to that beautiful, dark-complexioned, soft-bodied Krishna, the son of Nanda, who has very beautiful nose with a pearl on the tip of the nose and who has rows of attractive teeth in his mouth. Then it is described in the fourth stanza, Karena Venu Ranjitam, which means Krishna plays the flute. Karena means in his hand and Venu means flute. So Krishna loves to play the flute. Now we may ask this question, what is so special about the flute? We have to understand, the flute has some qualifications. The qualification of the flute is, what is inside the flute is outside the flute. What is outside the flute is inside the flute. What is it? Air. The flute outside of it has only air, and the flute inside of it has only air. Which means, Krishna is teaching us, when you are inside and outside the same, then you become very dear to me. The flute inside has only air and outside only air. But in this world, we have hypocrisy. Talking about myself. Not everyone. I'm talking about myself. What is inside is not outside. Outside we try to be good, but inside there's something else going on. There's some critical mismatch. But the flute is inside filled with air and outside also air. So Krishna is saying, if you have this characteristic, then I will take you and kiss you. I will always keep you in my hand. Such a devotee is very dear to me. So that is the characteristic of the flute. And also another thing about the flute is that the flute is straight. He is not crooked. If we are crooked, then we are not dear to God. We must be straight. We must be simple. Even if we have shortcomings, we go to Krishna and we say, this is where I lack. It's better to be simple and straightforward. Krishna will accept. So if we have these qualities, then Krishna will accept. That's why he accepts the flute. The flute is a constant companion in Krishna's pastimes. Whether Krishna meets his friends, or the gopis, or Mother Yashoda, or even if Krishna is sleeping, he has the flute in his hand. Even when he jumps into water, he tucks the flute to his waist and then he jumps. So whether it's on top of the hill or inside the water, whether he's swimming, singing, dancing, or jumping, the flute is always there, either on his hand or his waist or to his lips. So if we want to be like that, close to Krishna, then we have to develop these qualities like the flute. Also, it is described, Krishna doesn't play the flute. Krishna only keeps the flute to his lips. But the flute is a person in the spiritual world, and he is so excited that Krishna is keeping me close to him. So Krishna just takes the flute and keeps on his lips. And what does the flute go? In happiness. The flute starts screaming in happiness. And Krishna's like, wait a minute, I haven't even started playing you. This is the nature of the flute. The flute is so happy. The next description about Krishna, the all-attractive Lord of Vrindavan. Gati Karindra Ganjitam, which means that is talking about the walking style of Krishna. Krishna doesn't walk very lazy, and Krishna doesn't walk very fast. It is described he walks in the gait, in the walking style of a proud, maddened elephant, royal elephant. Just like an elephant walks, some of us may have seen, some of us may not have seen, but you can at least understand that if an elephant has to walk, he's not going to be jumping around. A royal kingly elephant, royal regal elephant is going to walk very nicely, gracefully. That's how Krishna walks. He's walking with his chin up, completely intoxicated with the pride of his own beauty, the pride of his own being. But then when he looks at the beautiful form of Srimati Radharani, this elephant becomes like a mouse. Because Radharani is so beautiful and so attractive. Then this Krishna, who's thinking he's the most beautiful person, when he looks at Radharani, oh, my devotees are so beautiful. Why? Because they have the beauty of devotion in their heart for me. I have physical beauty and I have devotion for my devotees. But my devotees have devotion for me. That is what makes them more beautiful. So it is described by Rupa Goswami. Vrindavane viharato ihakeli kunje matta dvipa pravara kautuka vibhramena sandarsha yasva yuvayor vadanara vindam dvandvam videhi mai devi kripam prasida. In Sanskrit it is described that, O Krishna, you are walking like a male elephant. And O Radharani, you walk like a female elephant. When will I become fortunate in the forest of Vrindavan with my two eyes to see this male and female elephant walk of Radha and Krishna through the forests? Rupa Goswami has prayed like that. So whenever we see the context of walking, our walking, somebody's walking, any walking, we should remember the walking of Krishna. It's like an elephant. The next description is Dukula Pita Shobhanam, which means Krishna's cloth is yellow in complexion. You see? Krishna is bluish black in his complexion, but the cloth that he wears, his dress, his garment below his waist, he wears a dhoti, which is like a pant, right? That's yellow in complexion. And poetically, the poets, they describe, if Krishna is like a rain cloud, his flute playing is like the thundering, and the yellow cloth is like lightning, and the colorful peacock feathers on the head, they are like the rainbow. And amidst the cloud-like complexion, his face is the full moon. Think about it. Think about it. Krishna is like the dark sky, the rain cloud, but his face is like the moon hiding between the clouds. And the flute sound is the thundering of those clouds. And his yellow cloth is the lightning of those clouds. And at the same time, the colorful bird feathers, peacock feathers on his head, they are like the rainbow. And then he has very beautiful pearl necklace, which moves. As he's breathing, the pearl necklace is moving. And that's like this set of birds, white birds, which are flying in the night sky amidst the clouds and the moon. But the clouds must also give rain. So what is the rain? The rain is Krishna's glancing and Krishna's smile. That's the rain of nectar coming from the moonbeams of nectar, or the nectar coming from the cloud of his personality. Is everyone understanding the poetry? It's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. So, Namami Nanda Nandanam. I bow down to that Krishna who has a yellow cloth, who plays the flute, and who has the walking style of a maddened elephant. Then in the 5th stanza it says, Tribhanga Deha Sundaram, which means Krishna has a bent form. He doesn't stand straight. His body is bent. He has 3 bends in his body. Anyone who has seen the form of Krishna in a painting or in the temple, you will appreciate and understand that Krishna always stands in 3 bends in his body. There's a bend on his feet, on his knees very specifically. Then there's a bend on his waist, and then there's a bend on his neck. So he's not standing straight like this. There's a bend. He always stands like this, with his left cheek to his left arm. So his neck is bent, and at the same time his waist is bent, and his feet are also bent. So he's ready to dance. So he's always standing in a crooked form. Now this form is very interesting. Imagine if you have a crooked object, and if I have to put it inside this water cup or water bottle, if I have to put something crooked inside, let's say if I have to put something straight, it's easy. I can just put it in and take it out. But if there's something crooked, it'll not even go inside, right? It's difficult to put it in. And once it gets in, it's difficult to get it out. So what does that mean? This is our heart. And Krishna is a little crooked in his form. It's very difficult to catch him and put him in our heart through devotion. But if someone succeeds, then even if they want to take Krishna out of their heart, it's not possible because the crooked thing doesn't come out. It's difficult to take and put Krishna in the heart. And once he gets into our heart, he will never leave. So that's the fantastic thing about this 3-fold bending form of Krishna. Then the next thing that is described, Nakhat Dyuti Sudakaram. This is what I was talking about, the many moons on his body. It is described that Krishna in his body has 24.5 moons. Moons. There's one moon in the sky which attracts us. But in Krishna's body, there are 24.5 moons. How many? 24.5. So what's the calculation? 10 fingernails. They're like moons. Very effulgent. They're white and they're brilliantly beautiful and effulgent. The light coming from Krishna's fingernails. 10 on the hands and toenails. 10 on the feet. 10 plus 10 is 20. So Krishna has toenails which are white, which are attractive, which are glossy, which are lustrous, which are effulgent, which are soothing, which are relaxing. Just the tip of the toenail of Krishna is so beautiful. We are not even talking about his feet, and we're not even talking about his face. So the 10 toenails on the feet and the 10 fingernails on the hand. 10 plus 10, 20. Then how many more to go? 4.5 to go. What is that half moon? The half moon is his forehead. You see, a half moon is always like a crescent moon, and that's his forehead. His forehead is very beautiful like the moon. That's the half moon. So 20.5. What are the remaining 4 moons? 2 cheeks. They are like full moons. Very chubby, full moons. So that's 22.5. Then Krishna has a tilak, which is like a round moon. We have a longer tilak, but Krishna has a round tilak. That's like a moon. So we have come to 23.5. 10 on the fingers and 10 on the feet, 20. The half moon, 20.5. The 2 cheeks, 22.5. The tilak, the marking on the paint that we put here, 23.5. And his full moon face, 24.5. And out of all these moons, his face is the king moon. The king moon is sitting on the throne of the neck, while the other moons are trying to entertain this king. These moons are trying to entertain by jumping on the holes of the flute. That's how they entertain the king moon. Because Krishna is playing the flute, so the fingers have to move on the holes of the flute. So these moons, the fingernail moons, they're jumping and dancing to entertain the king moon. And the toenails, they're dancing. Krishna is jumping and dancing. So the toenails are dancing on the ground and the fingernails are dancing on the flute. So in this way, all the 20 nails, 20 moons in the form of fingernails and toenails, they're trying to jump and dance and sing just to entertain the king moon. So this stanza or this phrase means Nakadyuti Sudakaram. His fingernails are like moon themselves. Very soothing, very beautiful, very attractive, and spotless. The best thing about Krishna's moon is it's spotless. And it doesn't increase and decrease in size like the moons of this world. No, it's increasing and increasing and increasing in size. When Mother Yashoda puts all the sweets in Krishna's mouth, the big moon becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. His cheeks become wider. Then the next stanza given, the next description, Amulya Ratna Bhushanam. Krishna's filled with so many beautiful ornaments. But do we think that the ornaments decorate Krishna? No. The ornaments get ornamented by being on Krishna's body. It is described in the Bhagavatam. Param padam bhushana bhushanangam. When Krishna wears those ornaments, it's not that he looks more beautiful. The ornaments look more beautiful by his beauty. And I bow down to that beautiful son of Nanda Maharaj. I hope everyone's understanding and relishing this meditation of how to think of Krishna while singing this song. We are in the last 3 stanzas, so let's quickly go through them. Sugandha Anga Saurabham, which means Krishna is naturally very fragrant. Krishna does not need perfumes. Krishna does not need deodorants. Krishna does not need any form of scents, any aromatic fragrance. No. Naturally, Krishna is very attractive and very fragrant. It is described when Krishna wears flower garlands and takes them off, the flower garlands now have the fragrance of Krishna's body. And it is described in Shastra. How fragrant is Krishna's form? How fragrant? It is described that you take the musk of a deer. Musk deer? In the mountains, the musk deers are very famous. They have a natural smell of musk coming from their body. And it's very, very intoxicating smell. So you take that and you mix it with camphor. And then you mix that with the smell, the fragrance of the whirl of the night blooming blue lotus flower. You take this smell, the fragrance coming from the middle part of the blue lotus flower, mix it with the musk fragrance and mix that with camphor and mix that with chandan, sandalwood, and mix that with aguru, and you mix that with kasturi, which is musk, and you mix all of this with lots and lots of affection. That is Krishna's fragrance, given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, oh, my nostrils, my nose are jumping out of my body to go and smell the form of Krishna. My eyes are jumping out of my face to go and see him. And my ears are jumping out of my head to go and hear the flute sound. While my tongue is jumping out to chant his holy names, and my arms are jumping out of this ball and socket joint to go and embrace him. Alas, 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 there is a competition between my own senses on who's going to reach Krishna first. This is devotion, dear devotees. This is maddening devotion, to constantly think of Krishna. When we chant the holy name, we can think about these descriptions. Then it describes Uro Viraji Kaustubham. Krishna on his chest has a very wonderful jewel called as the Kaustuba Mani. It's called Kaustuba. It's a nice necklace with a jewel. But at the same time, that jewel is Krishna's friend. One time Krishna went into a cave. It's given by Rupa Goswami in Lalit Madhav. When Krishna went into a cave, it was completely dark and Krishna could not see anything. He was thinking, I wish I had a torch light. I can switch on the light and see what's happening in the cave, because there were some writings in the cave and Krishna couldn't read them. So he was thinking, alas, I wish I had some light. And immediately the jewel on his chest opened up, brilliant effulgent light, and the whole cave lit up. And Krishna was thinking, where is this light coming from? And the Kaustuba jewel on Krishna's chest said, hey, did you forget? Your friend is here. So Krishna's jewel on his necklace, called as the Kaustuba, is his best friend. And near that, on his chest, resides Lakshmi. Spurat Shrivatsa Lanchanam, which means Lakshmi resides on the chest of Krishna, which means all good fortune. Namami Nanda Nandanam. I bow down to that son of Nanda Maharaj. Next it says Vrindavana Sunagaram, which means Krishna is the most wonderful hero of Vrindavan. Vrindavan is the place of Krishna. And Sunagaram. Nagaram means hero. And Su means best. He's the best hero of Vrindavan. There's no other hero. It's only Krishna. Very attractive hero. In this world, there's Hollywood and Bollywood and there's all of these attractive things that people think are attractive. I don't know what you call it in South Africa. I don't know what the movies are called there. But you can understand that everyone's following a hero and a heroine and a love story. But then you can see that in every movie, every hero has a different heroine. And every heroine has a different hero, which means the love story is not eternal. But in the land of Vrindavan, there's only one hero, and that is Krishna. And only one heroine, and that is Sri Radha. And only one true love story between Radha and Krishna. And all the devotees, they dance like fire flames around the forest fire of Radha and Krishna's divine eternal love. This is devotion in Vrindavan. Then the next stanza says, Vilas Anuga Vasasam, which means Krishna dresses according to his pastimes. Sometimes Krishna has to dance. So what does he do? He pulls up his cloth, because sometimes his cloth is so long it goes under his heel. So he can't dance properly. So when he decides to dance, he pulls it up and ties it to his waist, pulls up the cloth up to his knee, and now he can jump and dance. The cloth doesn't come under his heel. And also, Krishna is so attractive, he keeps looking at his ankle bells. And he makes those sound with the ankle bells and looks at everyone. And others are also looking. And Krishna says, can you hear the ting, 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 ting sound of my ankle bell? How does it look? And he himself, as he's dancing, he's looking at his ankle bell. So the Acharya is describing, depending on what Krishna's pastime is like, he dresses accordingly. It is described in summertime, Krishna doesn't wear anything on the top. But sometimes when it's a little cold, he has a cloth to cover him. But in summer, he doesn't. So when he has to swim in the waters also, if you have an upper cloth, then it unnecessarily gets wet. But in summertime, people like to swim in the pool, so there's no upper cloth. So Krishna dresses according to the season and according to the need of the pastime. The next stanza, the next meaning is Surendra Garva Mochanam, which means we all know the pastime where Krishna lifted a big hill called Govardhan. And that was because the king of all the superior gods or demigods, by the name Indra, he had become very proud. So Krishna crushed his pride by lifting a mountain for 7 days and 7 nights. It's almost like telling Indra, you are lifting a bigger mountain than me. You are lifting the mountain of pride. And you have been lifting that mountain for such a long time. To crush the mountain of pride in your heart, I am lifting the mountain of Govardhan to teach you a lesson. And by that, he crushed and completely put to powder, to pieces, to ashes, all of the pride of Indra. So we should pray to Krishna, my Lord, you please make me humble. Please crush all my pride and make me a humble person. Namami Nanda Nandanam. I bow down to that beautiful son of Nanda Maharaj. Vrajangana Sunayakam. Vrajangana Sunayakam means Krishna looks most attractive as the hero when he is next to Srimati Radharani. Next to Srimati Radharani. It is described that when Krishna is away from Srimati Radharani, he is bluish black in complexion. But then when he comes close to Radha, Radha is in golden complexion. So the golden effulgence from her body touches his bluish black complexion, and Krishna now becomes golden. Touched by the rays of the effulgence coming from Radha's body. So these two wonderful personalities, the fair and dark complexion lords of our life. Radha is fair complexion and Krishna is dark complexion. May these two wonderful divine couple always be in our heart. One time His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj was asked, what is the secret for married couples to stay married for a long time? So Maharaj said, the secret of happy married life is if the couple can keep the divine couple between them. Between the couple must be the divine couple. Between the male and female, the husband and wife of this world, in any married life, must be the divine couple, which means the devotion to Radha and Krishna. So Krishna is the hero of the heart of Srimati Radharani. And the next meaning is Sada Sukha Pradayakam. He only and only knows to give joy, nothing else. So if we go away from Krishna in our life, we will be sad. And if we go closer to Krishna, we will be happy. This is the success. The closer we get to Krishna's lotus feet in devotion and in affection, the happier we will get. The happier we will get. And then the next stanza says, Jagan Mana Pralobhanam. He attracts the hearts of not just those in Vrindavan. He makes the living become non-living. The non-living becomes living, which means when the river is flowing and the river is seeing Krishna, the river is flowing nicely and is seeing Krishna, the river gets stunned. Yamuna, she's flowing. The water body is flowing and she looks at Krishna and she gets stunned, and it's almost like ice, stunned, completely stiff. But on the other hand, the rocks which are stiff and hard, when they are touched by the feet of Krishna, they flow like a river. Which means the river becomes like a rock looking at Krishna's beauty, and the rocks flow like river looking at Krishna's beauty. I bow down to that son of Nanda Maharaj. So having said this, the author finally says, what do we get by chanting this? By meditating on this? The author says, Sri Nanda Nandanastakam, these 8 stanzas on the top, glorifying Krishna, Pathet yaha shraddhayanvitaha. If someone with faith and devotion reads this every day, then what will happen? Tared bhavabdhim dustaram. He will cross over the ocean of death. Never ever to take birth again in this world. Never to enter another mother's womb and suffer birth, old age, disease and death. And instead, what will he get? Labhet tad angri yugmakam. He will attain Vrindavan, where he will have the direct audience. He will see with his eyes the beautiful form of Krishna, whom he has been meditating upon all his life. So if someone chants this every day, all their problems will go away. Their heart will erupt in joy. They will cross over the ocean of problems and enter into the abode of Krishna and see him with their very eyes. So having said that, I will stop here. I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity. I know I spoke little over time, but what to do? Nectar, when it's coming, it can be kept in a pond. It must flow like a river. And river means there'll be 2 banks. And the water will spill on either sides. So please forgive me. The nectar of the description of Krishna's form is like a river which spilt over the banks of the time that we had. So I spoke little over time, I hope. Sabyasachi Prabhu and others will forgive me. And thank you for tolerating. For all the mistakes I may have committed, please kindly forgive me. And if any of this gave joy to any of your hearts, then I hope you will offer some prayers and blessings for me. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. All glories to the all-attractive Lord of Vrindavan.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I didn't greet you earlier on. I'm about to read some announcement. What a wonderful class. Thank you so much for your time and your wisdom. You are truly a gift from God. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to read some announcements here. Prabhu can be found on social media at Amarendra Das on Instagram, as well as at Amarendra Das on Facebook. You can also visit his SoundCloud page at Amarendra Das Official to listen to his various podcasts posts. And don't forget to like and share. Kindly visit, like, share, and follow WUSA social media platforms that include Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at WUSA 108. Help us get to 1,000 followers and subscribe and more. We thank you for your support. The morning Japa sessions are on every morning from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Standard South African time. Details around the daily program will be communicated in the WUSA Weekly WhatsApp group. The Books Are the Basis Club is up and running. Join in on the association every Thursday evening for a jam-packed reading and sharing of realizations session via Zoom. Also, our heart-to-heart Vaishnavi Circle is happening every Friday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Standard South African time with Her Grace Mother Vrajalila, featuring various senior Vaishnavi speakers via Zoom. Visit www.wusa.online to find out more. Register to the CKC Cupid Kavya Corner Poetry and Creativity Workshop now. Visit www.wusa.online on the Arts and Craft at the House of WUSA page and click on the event banner to register. The Creative Krishna Consciousness Content Creators Program is an international collaborative effort through Quiddity Concept Magazine via a Creatives Helping Creatives Network, a preaching through empowerment initiative. You are welcome to join in on the ongoing discussions every Wednesday as shared on the WUSA website at www.wusaonline/campaigns. And as we work towards developing ideas geared towards inclusively sustainable growth, you can also visit change.org and follow the WUSA campaign titled Allow Devotees of ISKCON South Africa a Voice in Solving Existing Racial Imbalances, to proper familiarize yourself with the WUSA effort. Now observing the latest developments around the reconstitution of the National Council following our initial cited discussions. You are invited to join the WUSA Weekly WhatsApp group via a link at www.wusa.online to receive regular activity updates and communications. Share the link via the chat panel. And B, this group is for quick announcement and will not be used for spam, and admins can only post. Lastly, visit our Sunday morning inspiration page on the WUSA website and let us know what classes, talks, discussions you may be interested in having, or if you may wish to hear from your particular speaker, so we may try to serve you to your satisfaction. Any closing words from you, Prabhuji?
I'm just happy to be here, and I hope I made sense. I hope I was not very intense. I don't even know if I could connect or serve your community to the expectation. But please accept me for whatever little I offered, and if there are any constructive improvement feedbacks, please do let me know. So next time when I come, I can try to speak favorably. And to everyone on the call, I really want to thank you for spending so much time with us.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so much.
Prabhuji. The class was wonderful. You did an excellent job. May Sri Radha and Sri Krishna continue to bless you.
What a beautiful meditation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to thank all of you and wish all the very best. May your preaching explode like never before, and may more and more new locals come, join, and get nourished and get devotionally surcharged by your association. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
And thank you to all the devotees for coming. His Grace Amarendra Prabhu ki jai.